$80,000 to $600,000. This is the complete breakdown of the ideal career path in tech sales. How much can I expect to make base salary plus commission? How long is it going to take me to get promoted from an SDR to an account executive? We're answering all of those questions and more in this video. If you're in college, have little sales experience, or you're a young rep trying to break your way into a large tech company, the first step in your career path is typically to become an SDR, a sales development representative. SDR is focused on filling the pipeline, the top of the sales funnel activities. If there was a sales sphere, they're the tip of that sphere. They're cold calling, they're cold emailing, they're social selling. Their main objective is to set meetings with prospective and qualified buyers, filling the pipeline. Now, in my opinion, an SDR mentally is the hardest job in a sales organization because they're dealing with rejection all day, every day. If you could get good at being an SDR, the rest of your sales career is going to be set up for success. This is the foundation for a successful sales career. The median base salary of an SDR in tech is $55,000. The median on-target earnings for an SDR is $80,000. You might be thinking, Matt, what is on-target earnings? What is OTE? OTE is what an SDR would make if they're at 100% of their quota. An SDR's quota is based around setting qualified meetings with prospective buyers. They might have a monthly quota. They might say,
hey, Matt, you have a monthly quota of 15 meetings.
Or a quarterly quota. Matt, you have a quarterly quota of 50 meetings across the next 3 months. If you overachieve, let's say I overachieve and book more meetings, I book 55 instead of 50 for the quarter, there's typically accelerators built into my comp plan that I get paid more commission off of those 5 extra book meetings. Now, the top performing earning potential of an SDR in tech is $123,584. That is a ton of money for somebody fresh out of college, a young sales rep who just broke their way into a large tech company. It is important to know, in order to earn $123,000, you need to make sure that you're working at an organization where that is possible. And how you make sure that's possible is you leverage RepView. I've spoken about RepView in multiple videos. RepView is the glass door for salespeople, and it gives us salespeople visibility into how much money I could potentially make in a sales role at a specific company. Now, within some tech organizations, there's different levels of an SDR. The first level, if you're in college, have no sales experience, you'll typically start out as an inbound SDR. You're focused on qualifying, doing some basic qualification for inbound leads through marketing. Pretty easy stuff. When you do well in that role, within 5 months, you'll typically be promoted to an outbound SDR. Now you're cold calling, you're cold emailing, you're social selling, you're actively prospecting. You're no longer dealing with inbound inquiries. You're actively prospecting and building pipeline for the organization. When you do well in that role and you crush it and you're killing your quota, and you will because you consistently watch the videos on this YouTube channel, when you crush that role, within 7 months, you'll move into a senior SDR. After that, there's a few career paths you could take. What most folks will do is they'll move into a closing role. So 1.5 to 2 years of being an SDR, you can move into a closing role. Most people do that. Others don't do that, and what they do is they move into leadership. They move into an SDR team lead, an SDR manager, which funnels up to a director of sales development, up to a VP of sales development. But most SDRs will move into an account executive role. An account executive is tasked with closing business. They're running discovery calls, product demos, proof of concepts. They're also prospecting every single day. The best account executive prospects every single day. Nothing changes there. And like SDRs, there's levels to being an account executive. An associate account executive or an SMB, small to medium size business account executive, is typically the first step. The median base salary of an SMB rep in tech is $65,000. The median OTE is $125,000, and the top earning potential in this role is $272,507. An account executive's quota is again focused on closing business. They might have a quarterly quota, a quota for the half, or an annual number. I'm an account executive. I, as an account executive, get 100% of my OTE only if I'm at least at 100% of my closed business quota. An SMB account executive's average deal size is $23,000. They're typically prospecting and closing business with companies between 1 employee and 99 employees. and they're typically in that role for 2 years before they're promoted. After 24 months of consistent performance, an SMB account executive will be promoted to a commercial account executive or a mid-market account executive role. This position has a median base salary of $85,000, an OTE of $160,000, and a top performer earning potential of $379,099. A mid-market account executive, they're selling into accounts between 100 employees and 2,500 employees, and their average deal size is $54,000. You will typically be in that role for 18 months. After 18 months of killing your quota, a consistent performer, you're now moving up to the big leagues, the big bucks, where every seller wants to get an enterprise account executive role. An enterprise account executive, this is exciting stuff, guys, has a median base salary of $125,000, a median OTE of $250,000, and a top earning potential of $593,810. That's awesome stuff. An enterprise account executive, they're selling to large companies, 2,500 employees and up. Their average deal size is $153,000. Most enterprise account executives are closing $1 million deals to hit their quota. They're selling to Apple. They're selling to Comcast, IBM, Nike. They're selling to large enterprises. It's important to note, as you do well as an account executive, as you move up the ranks from an SMB to a mid-market to an enterprise AE, the deals get much harder to close. And it's much harder to hit your quota. 54% of SDRs in 2023 are hitting their quota, compared to 38%. Only 38% of enterprise account executives are hitting their quota in 2023. There's so much pressure on account executives. The deals are hard to come by. It's harder to close business. Budgets are being constrained. Timelines are extended. It's harder to hit your quota as an enterprise account executive. But when you do, the commission checks are 6, sometimes 7 figures. I know enterprise account executives pulling in north of $1 million a year. So yeah, there's more pressure. Yeah, it's very difficult. But when you get good, I want to become an enterprise account executive. That is my goal. You and me, watching these videos, doing these videos together, we're going to get there, and we're going to be pulling in north of $600,000. Now, if you do well in an enterprise account executive role, you could stay in that role and keep making that bank, or you could move into a leadership role and become a VP of sales. VPs of sales in tech have an average base salary of $205,026 with an OTE of $340,174. A lot of money, but a ton of pressure. The most pressure in a sales organization falls on the VP of sales. VP of sales, and this isn't right, but VP of sales average tenure is 18 months. Most VP of sales are in and out. They're in, they're hired, they're fired within 18 months. So yeah, you're making a huge base salary of $205,000 with an OTE of $340,000, but it's so hard to be successful with only typically 18 months to work with. Now, to even be able to apply to be a VP of sales at a large tech company, you need at least 10 years, a decade of sales management experience. After that, when you do well as a VP of sales, the next rung up would be to become a CRO, a Chief Revenue Officer. A CRO's average base salary is $234,651 with an OTE of $401,537. Big time money to become a CRO. Regardless of what route you decide to take with your sales career. This is awesome. You have options and there's trade-offs. For me personally, where I sit today, I always want to be an individual contributor. I'm a mid-market account executive right now at one of the largest tech companies in the world, a Fortune 50 company. I want to get into a role where I'm an enterprise account executive, a really good enterprise account executive, consistently closing $1 million deals, bringing in north of $600,000 in base plus my commission when I'm surpassing my OTE. That's what I want to do. What do you want to do? What excited you the most about this video, the ideal career path if you get into tech sales? Let me know in the comment section below. And if you're trying to get a job or get an interview, check out these 2 videos right here. They're going to help you land those interviews and close that interview to get the role, so you're on your way to making at least 6 figures in your sales role. Thanks for watching, guys. We appreciate you.